Not much up then, is there?
Nope. But we're recording now anyway, so...
Oh my God.
So no pressure.
Okay.
Don't be a nervous Nelly.
Oh, I'll try not to be.
Hey everyone.
Bonjour.
Hello.
Alright?
Yeah.
Nervous?
No.
So you heard what me and Uncle Peter said.
Yeah.
We spoke and we said he didn't elaborate on much.
No, I didn't really.
So
Not as much as what I thought I would have done.
the job's down to you.
Oh my gosh.
So, guess we'll just start with your earliest memories as a child.
Earliest memories as a child. Oof. I think, I don't know, maybe about 3-4-year-old. I can remember obviously playing out in garden, getting a bike for Christmas, playing in garden on my bike, and that's about all really at that early ages. Yeah.
What about school? You remember your first day at school?
Oh yeah, I can remember my first day at school. Obviously they called it the infants then. My teacher, still remember as Mrs. Nixon at Belle Isle School. Well, obviously it was just, you just played, you didn't do work and things, but I always remember when we had just dinner, on a dinner time, we went back into class and we had like a camping bed.
Alright. For naps?
And we had to have a sleep in an afternoon, always. So obviously when we went in after dinner, all these beds were laid out in classroom. We all had to lay on these beds. These prickly blankets, what I remember.
You know, like prison blankets?
Yeah, yeah.
Did you used to walk to school? Because it were only
Yeah, it were only 5 minutes up the road.
Where was your house? Where did you used to live?
I used to live at Mill Road, Belleisle. 3-bedroomed house.
Cold house?
Cold house, very, very cold houses. The kids today, they won't understand what we had to. We had one gas fire in the living room and that was it. We didn't have no central heating anywhere else. I mean, and there were, from when I remember, I mean, there's 9 of us all together. Obviously the older ones had moved away, can't remember them being at home, but I remember Doreen, Susan, Dennis, me, George and Peter, and obviously we shared bedrooms. We even shared beds, top and tailed in a bed.
A weak bed most.
I'm not saying, I won't say on camera.
You didn't grow there very much, so it was, who did you bunk with?
But he had his own water bed.
You'll have to guess for that one.
I mean, I can remember me, Doreen and Susan top and tailing in a bed. Well, they weren't double beds then, they were like 3/4 beds with like a spring bloody mattress.
So bigger than a single, because I can't imagine 3.
Just a little bit bigger. And I mean, we didn't have quilts and things.
Did you used to mess about?
No.
When it was say bedtime, did you used to mess about?
No, we'd go to bed. We'd probably wake up through the night, we were frozen. So we used to go downstairs, not coats of bugle. We used to bring coats back upstairs, put them on bed. Because like in them days, you didn't have quilts and central electric blankets. It were coats.
Just get what you could to cover yourselves.
Coats on your bed. Oh yeah, I mean.
What year are you talking here?
I'm talking 60s, aren't I here?
So there'll be many people that'll watch this.
Yeah, 1960s, yeah.
Understand what you all went through, and probably bigger families are.
Yeah, I mean, you're top and tailed. You didn't have your own bedrooms. And in the house, like I say, we had one gas fire in the living room. No central heating anywhere.
Was it a big house?
3 bedrooms, it wasn't a right big massive house, no. I mean, in the kitchen all we had were a pot sink.
The massive ones?
Just a big pot sink. We didn't have units and like you do now, and we had like, what, I can't remember what they called them, like a cupboard where you put your food in with a latch that come down. We had them, and we had a pantry.
Cold room?
Cold shelves, yeah.
I think I've still got one of them in my house.
You have still got one, because your house is like an old pre-war house. Yeah, we had them. I mean, I don't know if years before me that they didn't have fridges, but I can vaguely remember just having a fridge.
I'll have to try and think of when put up on pictures and stuff of when fridges were first invented.
I suppose they would have done, but it were like, if you could afford a fridge, do you know what I mean? I can remember us having just a little fridge in kitchen. So in the kitchen, we had a big kitchen. The kitchen was the biggest room, and all we had were a pot sink and a wooden draining board. Like a unit, self-standing, with what you put your food in and put latch down and things like that. Cooker, obviously, and a table and chairs.
Wow.
And we had, in fact, I'm going back, no, we didn't have a gas fire at first. We had coal fire.
Jeez.
And
they used to have to
I can remember, like when we used to get up on the morning and my dad would get up. I think the older brothers and sisters, they had to take it in turns sometimes, I think, to light the fire. I can remember it being lit, I can't remember who by, maybe my dad or my mum. I remember my mum lighting it a few times. And, you know, putting paper in front of it to draw it all and...
Any incidents of people burning the house
down? No, not that I know of. No, I can't remember.
I couldn't imagine that, having a fire, like with Theo and Isaac, my boys, I couldn't imagine having...
You did, and you had fire guards, didn't you?
I suppose you weren't kids, were you, but...
No, we were. We were all kids, weren't we, at some point? But we had fire guards around it. And then, like I say, then a few years, I can't remember years though, how old I was, and then I remember them saying we were getting a gas fire. Oh God, it was like, we felt we were really posh, because we were getting a gas fire. I remember they were supposed to come one day to put the gas fires in, and they didn't come. And the lady that lived next door, Mrs. Large, she was
actually called Mrs. Large?
Yeah, she was a bit of a drinker. And they should have come this particular day and they didn't come, so she lit she was lighting the fire and she fell in it.
Oh Jesus.
No, she died, obviously she died.
Oh right.
But if they'd have come that day...
So she must have obviously been drunk, fell in the fire?
She probably would have been, she was a drinker.
Wow.
I mean, she used to shout us, and because in them days if you took bottles back to the shop, you used to get money back on them. And she was always shouting us.
You know dandelion and burdock?
No, beer bottles.
Beer bottles?
Anything. Any bottle you took back, you got money. Go to the shop, take my bottles back for me. We used to have to go down to the shop for a all time. Take her beer bottles, bring money back. But
you won't ever find that these days, anyone doing all for.
But and then when I was younger, I had more aunties and uncles that were friends of my mum and dad's than I ever did have proper auntie. I only had one uncle, 2 uncles. My mum only had one brother. My dad only had one brother.
Do you remember them?
Oh yeah.
What were they like?
They were lovely. Uncle Dennis, my dad's brother, and Uncle Bill, my mum's brother.
Uncle Dennis named after him then, or?
Don't know. No, I wouldn't like to say, but like...
What did they do for jobs? Because this will be going back.
Oh my, oh God, I don't know. I wouldn't like to, I can't remember, no idea.
Did they live close?
Yeah, more or less, yeah. I mean, my Uncle Bill and Auntie Kitty, well, they lived up Middleton.
But back then, all your family lived pretty close anyway,
And
didn't they?
my Uncle Dennis, I think they lived down Hunsley. My grandma and granddad, they lived 5 minutes away from us.
Do you remember going to their house? Do you remember what stuff do you remember about them? Because for me, I don't remember much about going to see your mum and
My grandma and granddad, I remember when I was little, they lived down Barn Road in a back-to-back house. I can vaguely remember going to that house. And then obviously they moved and they got a flat not far from where we were living. And I always remember when we used to go, because it were like sofa and chairs, old-fashioned, and big wooden table in the middle of the room, do you know what I mean? Coal fire, always a big coal fire. And they always had one of them clocks that chimed every 15 minutes.
Yeah, every 15 minutes, bloody hell.
Always chimed every 15 minutes. It was like going to see the grandma and granddad. Yeah.
Did you have friends that were there? That lived around your grandma and granddad's?
I had we all sort of had friends close by anyway. They only lived like 5 minutes up the road from us. But
you used to play out a lot when you used to visit and stuff up?
not at grandma and granddad's, we never played out. We used to just go there sitting.
What age were you then when you used to go?
I remember, I don't know, maybe 8, 9.
Well, I thought you'd have been out then, wouldn't you? At that age?
Yeah, we were not playing, yeah, but we always went to see grandma and granddad. I mean, we always went at, like, Whitsuntide, Christmas, things like that.
Cool. Sounds eventful though.
I mean, I would love to go back to my childhood and do it all again.
Yeah.
It's like you had a childhood and you could play out and you could do. I mean, we'd go out. Always had to take our Peter with me, no matter where I went. My mum, take your brother. I had to look after him all the time, take him out with me with my friends.
So our Paul will understand that, won't he? Because you used to say that about taking me.
And we'd go out. We'd be out nearly all day. We'd go back when we were hungry. We'd play out. We'd either go down to the field or play out farm, because we had a farm at bottom of the street. And we used to play with girls on there. And we used to go down there and play out farm.
Do you remember
what they were called? With pigs.
Do you remember what they were called?
Yeah, they were called Tates. Tates family.
Are you still friends with them or?
I'm not friends, but I have seen them over a couple of years. Obviously, they're all grown up, they've got their own kids, they've got their grandkids. We used to have some good times on farm, playing on farm. We'd be there all day.
But that was ace, just exploring. So what did you used to do then, or?
On farm, well, we just played, because obviously there's a lot of land around them. I mean, even in barn, where barn were, and you know, like when in a barn you have like an opening up at top, and we used to play there and jump off there onto haystacks and just things, and big table out in garden, and the mama, you know, go sit down, I'll bring you something to eat, and we'd all sit around this big table, and pigs would be all round us waiting for food to drop off. And just general playing out. I mean, we played, well, it would kick the can, but it's not often we had a ball, so we had a can in the middle of the road, and obviously we'd all run get it in.
I'll try and put pictures up of these, if I can work out how to. I'll try and put pictures up.
If odd ones were playing with you and they had the ball, obviously we used to call kick out ball. We used to play skipping. We'd have a washing line, and there'd be loads of us all from, and we'd go to end of the street, over on road, and one would be at one end of road, one would be at the other, and skipping and playing all skipping games and whip and top. Used to love my whip and top with chalks and like you got like a top thing, you had like a stick with a whip, like a string on it, which we all used to be always pinching shoelaces out of shoes, and you'd have chalk and you'd colour top in different patterns.
Right.
And when you wound it up and you let it go and you did it, and as it's going round it used to spin and it used to show you different patterns on top with chalk what you'd done.
Could you do it? What you
yeah.
When it starts spinning, you just whipped it again?
You just sort of kept whipping it like it's
cool.
It would go lovely. Everybody played whip and top. And then what else did we used to play? I think they were called. In fact, they were on Facebook the other day. Somebody brought them up as an old
whipping top. I need to remember these.
They were skipping. They were kick out ball. They were skipping with a washing line though, not just like skipping on your own. Whip and tops. They were on Facebook the other day, like I said, somebody put them on as a memory thing, and they were called knockers or something. And they were like on a little stick, and they were like string with two balls on. They might have had them, I think.
I remember you played at Scarborough or something.
Do you remember?
I remember.
And you used to whack them up and down like that, and balls used to go.
Yeah.
Oh, but God, if they hit you, they didn't have that. Used to have bruises all over. We used to play then. We used to play bobby knocking.
Yeah.
We used to have fun with that, knocking up down and running away.
We used to have fun with that as well.
We had an older woman who lived opposite us. We used to call her Old Ina. Oh, she was awful. And she used to have, because you didn't have tea bags when I was a kid, you had proper tea leaves, and she used to save them all up in back at front door in a bucket.
Oh, yeah.
If you were going to knock on her door, you'd have somebody at the gate watching, making sure you could see if she was coming to the door, and you'd be like that, going in the garden, and you'd be, honest to God, you'd be shitting yourself, because you think if she comes and opens the door quick, you're going to get a bucket of tea leaves. And if she saw you coming, she'd come, and then others shout, "She's coming!" You used to knock on the door right quick, she'd open the door, and obviously you'd gone, but she'd be stood there with a bucket of tea leaves, ready to throw over you.
Wow.
And then she must have had an house full of balls, because yeah, you wouldn't get them back. If you bought it in her garden, you didn't even go in garden without somebody watching while you went in and got it, because she was a scary woman.
We used to have people like that growing up here.
Yeah.
That just used
well,
to
yeah, you did. I remember them over there that used to play all about you playing in the street. But we had fun. It were great. I loved my childhood. And then, obviously, then I got older, and then Doreen got married. Dennis got married. Susan got married, so that left me, George, and Peter at home. My dad worked
Did you all go to the same schools?
Yeah, as infant schools we did, and then as we went to juniors, they went to like all boys school, and I stayed on at that school, which went on into a juniors.
What do you remember about school, like your primary school, after infant school? What do you remember about how it used to be set up, the things you used to use, like the equipment, or?
I remember using like compasses and just pencils and rulers, that's all we had.
Do you remember how it was set out?
No.
Do you remember any of your schools, how they were set out?
In what? Where we
like
desks?
Desks and were it like in rows and in front of the teacher, just in rows?
Yeah, I think
like
so, yeah, just like a desk, but it had a lift up lid.
Did you have it in yours?
I can't remember, just probably in the school books.
Could you take out in like a keepsake or something, like you used to Like a toy or something that you could...
I don't know. I don't think so. Can't remember that.
So you enjoyed school then?
Oh yeah, I enjoyed school.
Who were your closest friends?
When I
Or
went
your
to
best
school?
friend? Who were your best friend? And other friends that you kind of...
Well, growing up with and playing with, we had lots of friends. I mean, Denise Tate, Wendy Morgan. Obviously they're married now, they've got different names. I still see them. And lots of friends, we had loads, there were loads of us all together, because I mean Belleisle is the big, Wimmer Road was a big like area, which went off into like Wimmer Road, Winrose Avenues and all things like that, and we all went to the same school, so there were loads of us all together.
What games did you play at school? Still same? Skipping,
Yeah,
whipping top?
skipping, whip and top, all the same games. No different really.
Do you remember your teacher?
No, only one I can remember is my infant teacher. It's the only one I can remember.
Can't remember any from high school?
No. Oh, I can remember a few from high school, but not a lot. I mean, I went to Belle Isle, infants and juniors, and then I went on to William Gascoigne, which were at Middleton. Went there. God, I can remember like Mrs. Moss, Mrs. Driver, try to think, Mr. Stevenson's.
Which were the strict teachers that everybody didn't like?
A street teacher, I think he was Mr. Stevenson. And this girl called her Lorraine Barker. She was only little for her age, but she was got it. And she used to gob off at him all the time and always be right cheeky, and he used to sit on top of cupboard. He'd sit on top of cupboard for all lesson.
Wow.
And that, well, many a time she ended up on top of cupboard because she was always cheeky to him.
Jesus.
Can you imagine teachers doing that with kids now?
No.
Yeah?
No.
There'd no chance. They'd get put in prison. Like, and at high school, like we had his own swimming baths on grounds. No, usual lessons as I'll say, geography, history, maths, PE.
Which were your favourite?
I liked PE. I liked
That's because you didn't have to do work.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't thick at school, but I wasn't bright. I was never in an A class. I was always in a B class.
That's not
Because
bad.
we used to have A, B, C. A, well, you're brainy. I was never in A. I was always in a B class, but I wasn't thick, if you know what I mean. I was good at school.
And what were your first experience of going to high school? Because that must have been scary, like new place, new friends. A lot more kids, weren't there?
Yeah, bigger school, and it was an all-girls school. It wasn't a mixed school.
Can you remember all that stood out about your first days or your first weeks? Who did you meet? Like, do you remember who you met?
Don't know. No idea, can't remember.
Who were your best friends in high school?
Same. Denise, Wendy, Elaine, who I still keep in touch with through Facebook. Who else?
Do you have any friends at the boys? Oh well, they were an all-girls.
Well, no, really, because we were an all-girls school.
True, that's dope.
Yeah. I mean, I had boys when I was younger, growing up, playing out. I mean, we had all, because they weren't little families, everybody had big families. So there were always boys and girls, we were all playing together.
Who was the boy that everybody fancied? Do you remember?
I can't remember. No.
Do you remember anyone you used to fancy?
No.
No?
No, not as a kid, no.
Gosh.
No. when we were kids and all, it's like Christmas. Christmases were lovely, and then we got one present, and we were grateful. But I always remember my mum putting a stocking, tying it up on end of the bed with an apple, an orange.
Did you used to get excited for Christmas then?
Oh yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
Even though you just get one toy?
We got one present, and we were grateful. I remember obviously getting a bike, a three-wheeler tricycle. Obviously that got pinched in end out of my garden. And I can remember even just getting the simplest of, like a little, what did they call them, like little vanity bag, and it had like a place on front where an umbrella went in, and little bits and bats inside. I mean, today it probably cost about £2, but in them days it was a lot of money, and I remember getting that, and I were over the moon with it. I loved my bag. But we always had a nice Christmas dinner. We always had a Boxing Day party at my mum's. Everybody come to my mum and dad's at Boxing Day.
Kind of like your tradition on it?
Yeah, and it was like always at my mum and dad's. Every Christmas on a Boxing Day and it was always a glass of sherry. Well, not for me, because I was too young, I knew what to drink. I always remember sherry at Christmas at my mum's, and packets of dates. And
do you used to do big massive decorations? Do you used to decorate?
Yeah. All trimmings out way up into the middle.
I love that. I love the old school.
Only a little tree. Didn't have a big massive tree. We had a little tree, but we always had the big trimmings all the way.
They're not called trimmings anymore, are they? They're called decorations.
Yeah, but they were called trimmings, Christmas trimmings.
And now there's all thin little crappy things.
Yeah.
Not the old,
yeah.
I like the old tacky stuff, me.
Yeah.
Just over the top. Gold, red, silver colours, green.
But, what else?
What about your Christmases? What did everyone else get? You got your tricycle?
I can't even remember what anybody else ever got.
Suppose when they come on, they'll tell me what.
They'll know what they get, they can remember. I mean, I can only remember them 2 Christmases of a bike and that bag. I can't even remember any other.
Yeah.
What I got for any other Christmas present.
What about birthdays?
Birthdays.
Do you have any birthday parties?
No, I never had birthday parties. I don't even remember birthdays. I don't even know if we got presents at birthdays.
Gosh, you would have thought birthdays are more, birthdays to me are more important than Christmas.
I don't remember having birthdays. It's like clothes. You got clothes once a year, and that will Whitsuntide. Not like kids today, every day they get something new. We got something every year. We got a full outfit, everything. Whitsuntide once a year, and my mum always got us a little bag. We used to go around all neighbours. Come to show you his Whitsy clothes.
Oh, wow.
And they'd always all give you money.
Bloody hell.
It might have been only pennies, tuppences.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was a lot to us when we were kids.
Could you imagine that? It's not even close to that kind of community these days.
No. Kids won't even know.
People are telling you to F off.
Yeah. I mean, my dad worked 2 jobs, and he worked at Coglan's Steelworks, and he used to do shift work 6 till 2:10, and then on a weekend he was a waiter at Belleisle Club, because they had waiters then. You didn't go up bars for yourself.
Yeah.
They had a waiter. So my dad was a waiter, so I mean he did 2 jobs. My mum always worked. My mum was always she always did a lot of cleaning jobs. I remember, she worked at, Belleisle Club cleaning and things, and other clubs, and she worked at Tetley's for years cleaning.
How did them 2 meet? Do you remember?
My mum and dad.